All right, I apologize in advance. This video is really short. Sometimes OpenStax has a bunch of illustrations, some of their lower level stuff. There's tons and tons of illustrations. Uh, Sometimes their higher level stuff doesn't have a lot. So there's just two problems in this section. I will supplement these if I can with some additional problems, or students work something, need some help. I'll just make a little video showing how to work a problem. But let's get started. I think it's pretty easy, so I think you're gonna get the idea here. But we've got some real basic word problems just based on the idea of the trigonometric functions. And it's a very powerful tool, and this is kind of the basis of surveying, is that you can use these trig identities to find out distances. So here's what I mean. So we know, we're interested in knowing how tall a tree is. Okay, so I want to know how tall the tree is. I'm going to stand 30 feet away from it. I'm going to stand right here. Now, if I measure this angle and it's 57 degrees, and I know this is 30 feet, you see what I could do? I could find this height, even though, how could I possibly know that? I can use the definitions of the trig functions. So there's multiple ways we could, well, actually on this one, tangent is the way to go. So we need something that uses adjacent and also opposite. Well, that's what tangent does. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So look what we could do. I want the height of the tree, but I know the adjacent is 30 and the angle is 57. So I guess what we need to see is that we've created a right triangle. And if we have a right triangle and we have the angle and one of the sides, we can find the other sides. So the tangent of 57 equals h over 30. I can solve this for h. Just swing the 30 up to the other side, crunch the tangent of 57 on my calculator, and the tree must be about 46.2 feet tall. Does that make sense? So we're basically playing a game that if we have a side of the triangle, if it makes a right triangle, first of all, which it will for these problems, and we have a side, and we can measure the angle, we can find anything we want using those trig functions. So I'll start by making a picture here. So we're going to create something like this. Here's a building. Well, I should probably here's the windowsill here, and we're on a building. So a ladder is needed to reach this windowsill, and it tells us the windowsill is 50 feet above the ground. Now, so what we're looking for is, okay, well, how long is the ladder? So first of all, just make sure you're getting the picture right, and this is going to be pretty easy. Do you see what's happening here? We want to know the length of the ladder. The windowsill's 50 high. So this is obviously the building is making a natural right angle. So do we have, oh yeah, and they tell us this is 5 pi over 12. So we have the angle. Now you could do this in radians and work the whole problem on your calculator in radians, but I'm going to convert it. So our conversion is pi over 180 over pi would be to convert from radians. So those will cancel. 15, is that how many? Let me double check. 180 divided by 12. Yes, 15 times 5. Okay, so this is a 75-degree angle. Now I will convert, I don't think in radians very much except the basic angle. So I'm going to convert this, make this degrees. But you could, if you're comfortable, you could have done it on your calculator in radians. That's fine. All right, so here's what we've got. We've got this beautiful picture, but we have an angle and we have a side. We have everything we need. So I need opposite over hypotenuse. That's what I'm looking for. Do you see that? Those are the bits of information. I have opposite of this angle, and I have the hypotenuse. Well, that's sine. So the sine of 75 is opposite over hypotenuse. So sine of 75 degrees is 50 over x. Now, we're going to do a little more algebra this time. I'm going to send the x up. I don't really need to show this. Probably, I'm sure you're fine with this, but it gets me this. So x must be 50 over the sine of 75. So hope you follow how I just solved that. X up, then this is a number, I sent him down. Now I'm going to crunch that on my calculator here. And x is then going to be 51.76. Oh, sorry, that's not an angle. That is the length in feet. So we need a ladder to be 51.76 feet if we're going to be able to reach that wall, or that windowsill. Okay, so it's a little puzzle. We're creating these right triangles, and as long as we have an angle on one of the sides, we can use the definitions of the trig functions to help us find whatever's missing.